Good evening and thanks so much for joining us for this News 8 Now Coronavirus HQ update. I'm Mike Thompson. La Crosse County health officials are seeing a trend with the recent cases of COVID-19. 7 new cases are being reported today in La Crosse County, and that brings the county's total to 132 confirmed cases. That's an increase of 56 cases in 1 week. County health officials say a number of the recent cases have involved people in their 20s who have visited bars, restaurants, and beaches. In an effort to contact trace these cases, the health department is identifying certain businesses where people may have been exposed to a positive case. Health officials say anyone who visited one of 6 bars in downtown La Crosse listed here, Pettibone Beach and Blue Moon in Onalaska, between June 5th and 7th was likely exposed to COVID-19. Anyone that visited those locations is asked to complete a form on the La Crosse County's COVID-19 page. They say everyone can play a part in reducing the spread of the virus.
You have the opportunity to decrease your risk when you are leaving your home. So there is always risk outside of your home.
Rombalski says a lot of the current cases are because of people not following guidelines, including social distancing and wearing a face mask in public. The Blue Moon restaurant in Onalaska is temporarily closed after an employee there tested positive for the virus. The longtime restaurant announced late last evening that they are closing for the next 2 weeks. The La Crosse County Health Department did tell the restaurant they could remain open. However, restaurant management elected to close for the safety of staff and customers. While closed, sanitizing will take place in the building. A La Crosse police officer has also tested positive for COVID-19. The officer experienced mild symptoms of the virus within the past week. The officer may have been exposed while working because of a claim made by a person he had close contact with. The police department is cooperating with the La Crosse County Health Department's contact tracing efforts to identify others that may have been exposed. Regular sanitation of equipment as well as personal protective gear continues to be part of the department's effort to limit the spread of the virus. Also, a senior living facility in Sparta confirms staff members there have also tested positive for COVID-19. According to a Facebook post by Murrow Home Community, 1 staff member tested positive last Wednesday. Since that time, 3 additional non-direct care employees have also tested positive, all of whom had contact with the first case. Additionally, 1 assisted living employee has also tested positive. Taking a look at the latest numbers statewide, more than 22,900 people have tested positive for COVID-19 in Wisconsin. Nearly 700 people have died from the virus, and a little more than 16,800 people have recovered. Along with the new cases in La Crosse County, Trempealeau County is reporting 5 new cases. Monroe County is reporting 1 new case. In Minnesota, nearly 30,700 people have tested positive and a little more than 1,300 people have died. Just over 26,600 people have recovered. And in Iowa, a little more than 24,000 people have tested positive, 657 people have died, 14,705 people have recovered. Applications are now open for $75 million in grants for small businesses in Wisconsin. The We're All In grants are designed to help businesses recover from the pandemic. As many as 30,000 businesses will get the $2,500 grants. Money will help with health and safety improvements, wages, and rent.
What we're trying to do is just provide a little extra grease for the wheels as they start to reopen and to help them, pay for those unexpected expenses.
The program is the largest small business assistance program in Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation history. Applications are open through June 23rd. Applications and additional information is available on the WEDC website. COVID-19 has forced a lot of businesses to do things differently. Specifically, healthcare systems have moved a lot of appointments online. Telehealth has increased in the past few months, and News 8 Now's Isabella Holsizer found that La Crosse's healthcare systems plan on keeping them in place.
Hey, Nellie.
In April, telehealth appointments skyrocketed at La Crosse Health Systems.
We saw a lot of patients not willing to come in at all, even though they had very complicated conditions.
It's definitely an option, but not as accessible or prevalent as it is today.
The La Crosse Health Systems kicked telehealth into high gear over the last few months. Mayo Clinic officials say at their peak in April, they serviced over 1,300 patients per week virtually.
The video visits really allowed us to do is to stay very connected with those patients and assure they're receiving the level of care that they need.
Danielle George just recently started using telehealth services at Gunderson. She says she doesn't really have any concerns about security with the virtual visits.
The things that we talk about, are just general things that aren't anything that I'm super concerned about right now. So we can have those conversations.
George says the telehealth system makes getting the care she needs so much easier.
It can set up appointments for me, and then it gives me the availability and flexibility to take care of those things we talk about at my convenience.
Health officials worry patients don't realize their appointments can be done virtually and will risk not seeing a doctor to avoid going to clinics and hospitals.
They're talking about the COVID second wave, but they're also talking about a second wave due to delayed healthcare.
Leaders at both medical centers say they don't see this trend of telehealth slowing down anytime soon, even past the pandemic. In La Crosse, Isabella Holsizer, News 8 Now.
According to Gunderson Health System officials, its goal is to have 40 to 50% of primary care appointments done via telehealth. The Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater La Crosse is starting its reopening. As we've reported, initially only locations not based at local schools are reopening. The clubs are open for kids in kindergarten up through 5th grade. Activities will only happen in small groups to limit interaction with others. Club members and staff will be required to go through a screening process that will include temperature checks. While the clubs will feel different, it will help the community just to be open.
We needed to be able to be there for families and be able to support them, and also support the youth in a safe environment, which is always our #1 goal.
Clubs will be open Monday through Thursday. A deep cleaning of the facilities will take place on Fridays, in addition to daily cleaning efforts. Well, thanks for joining us for this update from your coronavirus headquarters. We hope you can join us tonight on News 8 Now at 10.